Imagine discovering that your own stepmother hates you so much that she is willing to pay a contract killer to erase you from the face of the earth, all because you are younger, more beautiful, and entirely irresistible to the man she loves. This is not a classic, innocent fairy tale. This is a modern, razor-sharp psychological thriller that turns the story of Snow White into a seductive, dangerous game of survival, obsession, and sexual liberation. If you love intense psychological dramas like Gone Girl or A Simple Favor, this complete, step-by-step breakdown of White as Snow 2019 will show you exactly what happens when a young woman is forced to escape a lethal family betrayal only to find herself living a wild, completely uninhibited new life hidden deep in the French wilderness. Our story introduces us to Claire, a breathtakingly beautiful, quiet young woman who works at her late father's luxury hotel. Claire is entirely unaware of the raw power of her own beauty, living a peaceful life, but her very existence is a psychological torture device for her stepmother, Maud. Maud is a deeply insecure, fiercely jealous woman who is currently dating a wealthy man. The central conflict ignites when Maud discovers that her partner has secretly fallen completely, obsessively in love with Claire. For Maud, this is the ultimate, unforgivable humiliation. Driven by a wave of narcissistic rage and toxic jealousy, Maud decides that the only way to secure her own happiness is to eliminate her stepmother role entirely. She hires a ruthless mercenary to kidnap Claire and execute her deep in the isolated, dense woods, away from any witnesses. The thriller escalates instantly when the killer successfully abducts Claire, driving her far into the mountainous wilderness to finish the job. But just as the killer prepares to execute her, a mysterious local hunter spots the struggle, intervenes at the perfect moment, and saves Claire's life. The killer flees into the shadows, leaving a terrified, disoriented Claire stranded in a remote, deeply isolated mountain village. The local hunter brings her to his home, introducing her to a bizarre, highly unconventional living situation. Claire finds refuge in a large, rustic cabin shared by 7 completely different, deeply eccentric men. These men are fascinated by her arrival, viewing her as a mythical creature who has suddenly dropped into their isolated world. Instead of running away in fear, Claire decides to stay hidden in this remote paradise, realizing that returning to her old life means walking straight back into her stepmother's lethal trap. As the days pass, the film transitions from a survival thriller into a deep exploration of female desire and empowerment. Claire undergoes a massive psychological transformation. Safely hidden from Maud, she stops being the timid, rule-following hotel worker and begins to embrace the sheer magnetic force of her own sensuality. One by one, the men in the village fall completely under her spell. Instead of causing a violent war among them, Claire handles her power with absolute confidence, engaging in separate, intensely passionate encounters with several of the men, including a local priest who struggles heavily with his vows, and a pair of twin brothers who are both hopelessly devoted to her. Claire becomes the absolute emotional and physical center of this isolated community, rewriting the rules of romance on her own terms. Meanwhile, back in the city, Maud is living in a state of absolute paranoia. She notices that Claire's body was never officially found, and her partner's obsession with the missing girl is only growing stronger. Driven by suspicion, Maud decides to take matters into her own hands. She begins a meticulous investigation, tracking down rumors of a beautiful stranger hiding out in the mountains. The tension reaches a boiling point when Maud finally uncovers Claire's exact location and packs a bag, traveling to the remote village herself to finish the job she paid a killer to do. The final act moves with incredible speed as the ultimate confrontation takes place in the quiet, snow-covered landscape. Maud arrives under the guise of a concerned family member, but Claire instantly recognizes the lethal danger standing in front of her. Maud attempts to use a toxic, modern twist on the classic poisoned apple to finally destroy her stepdaughter, but Claire is no longer the naive child her stepmother remembers. She has been hardened by the wilderness and empowered by her new life. In a frantic, tense psychological showdown, Claire outsmarts Maud, completely exposing her stepmother's murderous jealousy to the very men who protect the mountain. The film reaches its ironic, dark climax when Maud's own overwhelming rage and desperation cause her to lose control completely, leading to her own dramatic, fatal downfall in the freezing mountain environment. The story closes with a hauntingly beautiful sequence as Claire stands entirely victorious. She has completely conquered her abuser and shattered the toxic chains of her past. She decides not to return to the superficial, suffocating city life, choosing instead to remain the undisputed queen of her hidden mountain paradise, leaving the audience with a bold, provocative, and unblinking look at a woman who took absolute control of her own destiny.